What?
And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner!
Who gives a shit about where the ball's been?
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I love it because it tells you how the game was played.
There's nowhere for him to go. Literally, I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team.
Those things that are absolutely insane.
Successful and sexy? No. It wasn't aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
That's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the weekly recap from We Are Soccer. Once again, another week of unbelievable matches we have got to talk about. Before we jump in, hopefully you had a happy and enjoyable Memorial Day weekend and long weekend of soccer because there were tournaments all over the country. We were participating in some of them. All right, before we jump in, I do want to say a big thank you to our partners. Thank you to Soccer World. Thank you to Next Level Training. Thank you to the Michigan Jaguars. Thank you to Thomas McGee's. Thank you to the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. Appreciate the love and support you guys bring for our show. Wow, big matches to talk about. Some of them so big. Oh, my word. All right, listen. The big match of the weekend is obviously that Bundesliga relegation match between Dusseldorf and Bochum. No, I'm getting some funny looks from the guys in the studio. It's not that one. You're right. It's the one at Wembley. That Wembley match is what we're all here to talk about. Southampton, our Premier... No, it's not Southampton beating Leeds to make it to the Premier League. Just kidding. We all know it's that FA Cup match. Manchester United beating Manchester City. All right, raise your hands if you actually put money on Manchester United to win this game. Raise your hands. I'd like to see it. All right, we are going to jump in. We're going to talk about that and a lot of the other games. We got a long list of topics to talk about today. Before we jump in, let's say hello to the boys who were obviously giving me dirty looks from across the room when I mentioned those other games. Fellas, how we doing?
Pretty freaking magical, if you ask me.
I'm confused. So we're not talking Dusseldorf or something in Leverkusen because I was pretty excited.
Oh no, we're going to be talking about that.
I want you to talk about that.
I was good to talk about those.
I want to hear your assessment of this match.
The Bundesliga was
I've
over.
got an assessment on that match too.
The Bundesliga was over like a month ago. Why do we need to talk about that?
Toronto versus FC Cincinnati was pretty good too.
I don't know if we're doing too much MLS tonight, fellas.
Oh, just kidding.
All right, so we all had a long weekend of soccer and had some fun watching it, participating in it, watching our kids play. Good weekend though, boys, fellas. Yeah.
I watched my daughter going net.
There you go.
And had 2 shutouts and only 1 goal scored on her in 4 matches to lead a older team into victory. And then also play for other teams, so it was kind of fun.
Yeah, playing all over the place, huh?
Playing all over the place. She's not even
awesome.
a goalkeeper.
All right.
But I bought a $20 jersey, and boy, does she look the part.
There you go. That's all that counts.
She absolutely looks the part.
Well,
she had a face save.
A face save?
Yeah, she got blasted in the face, and then you have like some weirdo dad, which is me, yell across the field, face save!
Oh, my, and that's how we start out the show. Danny, you didn't have many games this weekend, did you? Or did you?
I didn't, mate. No, I had one. I watched a couple of games this weekend, actually. I watched, obviously, the FA Cup final. I watched the Championship playoff final.
Okay, yeah.
I watched Real Madrid, all while lying on my couch taking naps in the afternoon because of a silly incident on Tuesday where I took a little bit of a tumble. Yes.
What'd you do?
Well,
rollerblading.
Yeah, he's a rollerblader, folks. He's a rollerblader.
You were doing what now?
Roller derby he was trying.
It's an interesting fact. Me and Jana were actually rollerblading over the weekend, and I got back into it from being a kid. I'm actually quite good at it. And Tuesday, I decided to do something a little bit stupid and ended up almost breaking both my arms.
Hey, I'm quite good at a thing that I almost died in.
I didn't say I was perfect at it.
Like when I was a kid, you just kind of did this and went like.
Well, the bones are a little
what
bit
were you
different.
Doing?
The bones
were you
are
trying to do tricks?
No.
Did you try to do? Did you jump the stairs?
I jumped.
Did you jump the stairs?
I didn't jump the stairs.
Did you do a 6 stair?
I jumped.
Did you grind the rail?
If you allow me to speak, I'll let you
No,
know.
I just want to yell things.
Okay.
All right.
So
All right.
Back to normal shit then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Danny, you're good though, right? Besides a couple of bumps and bruises, you're good.
Besides a couple of bumps and bruises, which didn't make a blind bit of difference on Saturday around noon, I was, flying flying high in the sky with Lucy.
I have no idea. Was that? What do you mean by that?
Okay.
So it was, it was a fun weekend.
We'll get to it. All right, good. Brooks, yourself, good weekend there. I know you were involved in a lot of group text chats, and you were like, "Oh, these guys and this soccer." Oh,
A whole lot of group. Oh God, what did I do? It was. I watched. I didn't know. Oh, I watched a little soccer. Well, Friday night, obviously, I had the call for our LCFC and Allianz FC match.
That's right. Oh, by the way, yes, congratulations. You did a really good job. We are now live streaming on We Are Soccer. We've got live streaming games this past week. He did the Allianz FC versus Livonia City FC all by himself. Brooks, you did a phenomenal job, by the way, commentating on that game. Well
It was
done.
really rocky first 10
it
to
was
15 minutes, but yeah. I was watching, let's see, it was Memorial Day weekend, so we know that's the NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championship. I watched the final today, so that was good.
No. None of us in this room knew that, actually.
hon.
It's upside down.
I know.
What is this?
And then this Saturday, the PLL returns. Woo!
No one knows what the PLL is.
Yes, they do. They know all. And then, yes.
Nope. Hey,
I took a break from soccer this weekend.
We should
go around the
ask for some
troop.
official
Hey,
sponsorship
Danny.
for this.
Danny.
Yes.
What does PLL stand for?
Oh, I don't want to know what he's going to come up with. Keep it family friendly.
Okay, time.
I got nothing.
Craig?
I got nothing.
Hey, all right. Nobody knows what PLL stands for.
Please like Lucy.
Okay, good.
That's
We'll
probably
go
better
with that
than
one.
what it was going to be.
Yeah.
All right, boys, let's jump in.
Something to do with prostate.
Yeah,
Prostate.
there you go.
Yeah.
Men's Health Awareness Month.
Yes.
All right, let's jump in. We are going to be talking about that game that everybody went nuts about. It was Manchester United winning 2-1 over Manchester City. The FA Cup played at Wembley on Saturday. Our boys, Danny and Nate, were going nuts. Let's be honest, boys. Man City have had a good year, not a great year. They didn't really show up in this game, in my opinion. And if they did, it was dulled out by Manchester United, who put on a great performance. It pains me to say it, but congratulations, Manchester United. I said it to a bunch of people who were Man United fans around me at the time. Congratulations. That is a hell of a victory, by the way, over one of the best teams.
Hold on. I'm not a big City fan. And,
Well,
I understand the Premier League has turned into the Farms League, which is the same team wins it all over every single year. But how is just a good year, not a great year, defined by a historic fourth league win? Yeah, it's just good.
All right.
You only won the league 4 times in a row. No one else has done that. That's just good.
Would you consider Manchester City's year a great year?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
How many teams have won the league 4 years in a row?
I mean, last year they won the treble, right? They won the
That's
Premiership,
a
the FA
historic year.
That's a historic year. Yeah.
So what are they supposed to do that every year?
I mean, I was expecting him to this year. They're that good.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. Rewind the tape. Nobody here in
Rewind
this
the
room
tape.
thought City was going to win the league, except for, I think, me.
It is tough to do, but I think if they win the FA Cup, you go, all right, it's a great year. But they didn't. They stumbled to your team.
So it's an okay year because, they only made history by winning the league 4 times in a row.
But they didn't win 4 years worth of trophies this year, did they?
No, I'm just saying they had a good year.
Yeah, they had a good year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's going, they didn't have a great year. Well, they had a great year. I'd say, no, let me redact it. I thought they had a great year.
Okay. All right.
They didn't have an amazing year.
An opinion. I think they had a good year. They didn't have a. You
They had a
think
great
they
year.
Great year. Yeah. Well, okay. So let's jump ship. Let's jump over to Man United. Did they have
Not
a
so great.
year?
Not so great.
Well, listen, I'm hearing from both sides of Man United fans. I got a lot of Man United fans who think it's because there's a trophy won. And don't get me wrong, man, the FA Cup is a really good trophy. It's a great trophy. And they're saying, yeah, great, but meh, it was a poor year. Your thoughts, specifically, Danny, your thoughts. Does this make it a good year? Does it make where do you fall with this?
I think it turns it from a really disappointing season into a recovery.
Tolerable.
I think it's a recovery.
Okay.
I think it's a recovery. I think I think when you look at the scope of it, I'll address the game yesterday. It was a tactical masterclass from Eric Ten Hag yesterday.
Sure.
On Saturday, I mean.
Saturday, yeah.
Tactical masterclass. I thought the way that he set up the team from start to finish, they wobbled a little bit in the second half, just dropping a little bit too deep and not trying to play the football that they played in the first half, which I thought defensively, structurally in the first half, they were absolutely astounding.
Yeah.
And going forward, they were breathtaking to the point where it could have been 3 or 4.
And it begs the question of where's this been all year? Like, how come you couldn't get the team to? And again, I'm not trying to knock it, so please don't look that way. But when you watch a game like this, you go, you're taking it to one of the best teams in the world, and you're deservedly winning. Why weren't you able to do that more often? At least more often. Not you don't have to be 100% consistent every game, but just a little bit more often.
You know, if you look at the way that the season transpired, I mean, there was, and we can make excuses all day long, but it does have a massive impact. There was a lot of clubs this year, particularly Newcastle and ourselves, and we ended up with the season with the most injuries of any club in the Premier League, number one. And specifically, it wasn't injuries to the attacking players, it was injuries to the defensive players. Like, we didn't have I don't think we had the same centre-back pairing all season. I think Varane and Martinez, that was only the second time that they played together all season as a partnership. Mm-hmm. And it made a massive difference.
Sure.
It made a massive difference.
Sure.
I think, Ten Hag turned around and said that, Luke Shaw's one of the best left-backs in the world. We haven't had him all season. Last year's form, he was one of the best left-backs in the world. Tyrone last year, we didn't have him either all season. He's been out with a knee injury halfway through last season. Mm-hmm. So there's been a lot of injuries to a lot of players. And you can't get consistency. And he did say that when those players come back, that the performances would change.
Sure.
I don't necessarily think Martinez and Varane coming back in yesterday would have changed that philosophy, but I thought yesterday he had enough of the players that he trusted on the field to go and execute a game plan, and they did that. And I thought they were absolutely terrific.
So, Nate, I don't know if you want to jump in and put your 2 cents in, and then we'll get into some of the questions about the ongoings with Erik ten Hag and the club and other things.
So, rewinding, I guess you'd take, going back to your original question of, so does this make this, I think, a good year? I think it makes it a palatable year. It turns into a flaming dumpster fire of horrific disaster turd sitting flame on your doorstep where you step on it and go, there's turd on my shoe, and then you try to wipe it off and the turd gets everywhere, and just you're like, turd everywhere. Because with not only was this, okay, now you got a trophy, the second biggest trophy in England, which against your rival, but this now puts you in European football.
I was about to say,
so now,
out of my mouth, because now they get into the Europa League.
Now you're in the Europa League. So by winning this, now and you know what? Okay, Europa's not Champions League, say what you want, but the Europa actually has become more of a prestigious trophy over the last few years with the teams competing in it. And I don't think United right now would be suited for the Champions League even this year or going into it, but going in the Europa, make your squad better. Maybe you can go for a run. Maybe you can even win it. And, hell, that gets you in the Champions League if you stumble even the next year, too.
Sure. So, again, not taking anything away from Man United, right? The players in the field and the coach set up
There's
correctly.
also a good sending-off party for Erik ten Hag now that he's fired.
You're taking the words out of my mouth because
everyone said he's fired.
You're not listening. You're not listening. You are clickbaiting. You are not listening.
He said he's fired.
I do have to ask the question. Before the game, it had to be a little bit. Did you feel a little embarrassed that was leaked, or did you feel that was set up by another whatever it is? Because for me, it was like, well, wait a minute. There's within 24 to 48 hours, there's an FA Cup final. What is going on right now?
So I spoke to my dad about this, right? And so the leak apparently, according to Samuel Luckhurst and David Ornstein, the leak came from Chelsea about Ten Hag. And the reason why it came from Chelsea was because several weeks ago, and Nate will be able to back me up on this, there was a certain German club that was speaking to Ten Hag's representatives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I think they were.
Bayern Munich were talking to Erik ten Hag, right? Yeah. So they were talking to his representatives. Why would it be difficult to understand that Manchester United at that point, given the fact that he's had such a poor season going into the fact that they're not going to qualify for Europe and going into an FA Cup final against the best team in the world that most people didn't believe that they were going to win? Why is it unacceptable for them to talk to other people and sound them out about the potential of having the job if he does go?
Yeah.
So it's obviously been leaked that United were talking to Kieran McKenna, and Kieran McKenna was talking to Chelsea. Well, Chelsea got wind of the fact that Kieran McKenna was talking to Man United and leaked it, that his job was under scrutiny.
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
I don't think that the hierarchy of Manchester United have leaked that before an FA Cup final.
Agreed.
It's just been done by the stupidity of the media,
Okay.
number one.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think it's been done. I think he's got assurances. I think he came out fighting this weekend.
I think one, sorry to cut you off. I didn't mean to do that, but I think one, he came out fighting on the field with his team, and then after the match a little bit too with some of his comments, because that's very Ten Hag-like. Some of those comments.
So many people have been like, get him out, this, that, and the other. Did you look at the players?
They looked like they actually wanted to play.
Did you
They looked like they wanted to play, which is
did you look at
different.
Did you look at the players in the royal box collecting the trophy?
No.
At the end of the celebration, at the end of Bruno lifting the trophy and it going down all the players,
I'll be really honest, I'd turned it off by then.
they moved that trophy
Yeah.
all the way down to the left,
Yeah.
and they pointed at the manager to lift it.
All right.
Those players, some of those players,
Some
I will
of them.
say, some of them didn't down tools to that manager. They want him there,
Okay.
and I don't think he's going anywhere.
All right. I like that. Brooks, you got some comments from the viewers.
Yep, I do. Let's see. From Victor, City had a great year, and Villa needs to be relegated out of the league.
F you, Victor. Onwards, Brooks.
Mickey echoes. So, and United deserved manager of the year, not Pep. That was his opinion. Said Pep did a great job, no doubt, but it's expected. No one thought Villa would make Champions League. Victor also says Nate and Danny are way too far apart right now, so there's an issue with that. And Mickey comes back and says if they fire Ten Hag after winning the FA Cup, then clearly Birmingham City FC is running Man United.
Spoken like a true Villa fan. Yes. All right. Listen, it is very strange. I do like the fact that Erik Ten Hag came out after the match and put out a couple of things. One of the first things he said was, if they sack me, I'll just go win trophies elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know what? I'll be honest. I have not been the biggest fan of his, obviously.
It's a bold statement.
But I think that's a great statement, and I love it. And I don't think
I'll throw a stat at you, Brooks, because you like stats, right?
Love stats. Big stats.
Since Sir Alex retired, right, 13 years ago, Manchester United have won 5 major trophies.
Yep.
Carabao Cup twice, the Europa League, the FA Cup. Actually, the Carabao Cup. Sorry, Carabao Cup twice, 2 FA Cups in the Europa League, right? Van Gaal won the FA Cup and was fired.
Yep.
Mourinho won the Carabao Cup and the Europa League and was fired.
Yep.
Right? Those are 3 trophies. Ten Hag has won 2 trophies out of those 5 in 13 years in back-to-back seasons with, no doubt, last year playing great football, won the Carabao Cup, got into the Champions League acceptable season. This season, he's won a bigger trophy than last season with a really injured squad playing poor football, right? So you can't argue with the fact that the manager wins trophies.
Right.
What?
I will point.
What did he win last year? It was the FA Cup.
The
and-
Carabao Cup.
Carabao.
Okay.
Just
So he's
the
won the FA Cup this year.
Yeah, just the
And
FA
I will
Cup this
point.
year to Carabao last
I will point to this little blurb that was put out there with Sir Jim Radcliffe a couple of weeks ago when he finished the London Marathon. He talked about the environment. Somebody asked him a question, and it's actually a live video. You can see it. Somebody asked him a question about whether, Ten Hag is the right man for the job, and he turned around in that statement. And he said, "Absolutely." Number one, he said, we've had some great managers at this football club over the last 13 years. Van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, David Moyes, all proven managers in the Premier League, right? What's the biggest difference? The environment.
Mhm.
He said the environment that the manager has been placed into, whether that's the ownership of the Glazier family or the environment around Old Trafford or the spending and all that sort of stuff, the wrong players, the environment that the manager's been allowed to grow in has been poor. He said, so why would we keep changing the manager and keep the same environment? We have to change the environment.
It's kind of obvious, right?
Well, it's really obvious. Yeah. So I think at that point, they'd already made their mind up that they're going to give him another year.
Yeah.
The fact that they're letting all this settle down right now, right, and not come out and say, well, of course he's staying. It's reactionary. After all the shit that happened over the last couple of days, for him to be sacked, it's reactionary.
Okay.
For them to come out the next day and go, by the way, he is staying.
Yeah.
It's a PR stunt.
Sure.
If they take their time and just say, well, he was always in our plans anyway.
It's interesting the way clubs phrase these things and what they do. Brooks, you got something else coming up?
I guess my rebuttal to your stats there are no one around the world gives 2 hoots about the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. The ones you want to win, ones you want to win are the Premier League title and the Champions League. So listen, is it a good send off for Ten Hag? Sure. because everyone gave him crap.
That's such a ignorant statement.
It's not an ignorant statement.
Yes, it is, and it's a typical American statement.
It's not an ignorant statement.
Yes, it is.
It is
I
not.
would say it's an opinion, but I will say that Premier League that's what everybody wants to win, Premier League. And if they can't, they would like to be in Champions
It's like
League.
you won a
If they can't,
consolation cup. That's what I think.
The
it is.
Carabao Cup, in my opinion, is a trophy. It's a consolation cup somewhat, but it's still a trophy. The FA Cup would
Excuse
probably
me.
be third.
Call it by its proper name. Drink
Moose Cup.
Drink cup.
The drink cup.
yeah.
I that's an opinion, and I think it's an American opinion.
Do you
But
reali- do
to
you reali-
English people,
do you
the FA
realize
Cup
that
I think
relevant.
it's a domestic cup. It matters more in England than it does around the world.
Exactly.
And to the most of the fan base that are not true United fans like yourself, it doesn't mean a whole lot than winning a Premier League or a Champions League.
How about a
Do
manager?
you disagree with that?
Possibly.
I would say I think anyone who didn't win the FA Cup this year and had the ability to do so would probably say you're wrong. And I'd also say a manager with a 59% win percentage is pretty damn good with his current club, which is what Erik ten Hag has.
Okay, yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I would also say this, which is something I've always said, which, me and Jim Radcliffe, big buddies. So,
Yeah, you guys are good friends,
we're good
apparently.
friends,
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just finding this out now.
you just drop me off with this
Yep.
jet a little bit. But it's kind of like what I said this whole time. If your check engine light goes on and you change the window wipers, did you really fix the problem?
Sure. And you've been saying that through all the
And
managers that they've
it's
rotated
the
through,
same
right?
thing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
just like he said, the environment's the issue. I would have to second that as well. I don't know who you're going to bring in who's going to really be better at the current state than with what's going on. You got to fix what's going on.
Yep, and I think that's their plan, right? And they're doing that. So again, big congrats to Man United, deserved win in the game. I want to say Gvardiol with a horrible mistake there, not talking to his goalkeeper, led to the first goal by Garnacho. And I hate to say it, I absolutely hate to say it, but what a sensational and absolutely delicious pass by Bruno for the second goal to Mainu.
It's world class.
What
The move was world class.
a pass. I mean,
The move was world class. The
just-
ball was world class from Rashford. The no-look pass
Yep.
from Bruno was world class. The
Yep.
finish was world class. It was just...
Yep, it was literally. I rewound it and watched it a couple times and thought, "Wow, what a pass!" Eyes in the back of his head. The goal, in my opinion, that Onana gave up, he got his hands to it. He probably should have kept that out, but you still won 2-1, so it don't matter. It don't matter. You should have kept it out.
I was disappointed with it, with the save, actually, to be honest with you, because if you'd have saved it and we won 2-0, it's a statement win. It's a really big statement win. It's just like, okay, you've just beaten
Yep.
You're just beating the team best in the world 2-0 at Wembley, and you've battered them.
Yep.
You've outplayed them, you've outmatched them, you've outthought them, you've outcoached them, everything. And I just thought that tainted it just a little bit.
So I do want to move on to City.
Hold on. You do know what this lines up, though, right?
They're going to buy a new goalkeeper? I don't know
Nope.
what.
This
what?
lines up.
De Gea's coming back.
Maybe. This lines up another historic match.
The FA
City
Cup holder
versus United, August 10th,
the Community Shield.
for the community dinner plate.
Community dinner plate. Yes. Well, let's speak about City real quick. They did have a good year. They had they in my opinion, and Danny, I don't know if you want me to tell people this, but you did say in a text the other day that they are one of the best teams in the world this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man City. I feel they're the best team in the world. Nate, you and I had a bit of an argument.
Gonna beat Real Madrid.
Yep,
Go on.
couldn't beat Real Madrid over 2 games. Listen, they need to, in my opinion, retool a little bit. A lot of the games I've watched, the majority of their games this year, they struggle.
City haven't
They
replaced...
struggle when they can't really break a team down against a low block.
City did not replace Gundogan.
Thank you. Ilkay Gundogan is the player that really held everything together for the treble and really pushed them over the edge.
Kovacic got outplayed,
Yep.
outthought by McTominay that Brooks loves. He just got outplayed by him.
But here's also what Gundogan did last year. He created space by allowing the defenders who were in front of Erling Haaland to push forward a little bit, creating space for Erling Haaland. This year he's had no space. Yes, the Golden Boot winner in the Premiership, but in games where they need him, he hasn't been able to come through. I think Erling Haaland this year has struggled at times when he doesn't have enough space and he doesn't get enough touches on the ball. And Ilkay Gundogan created space for him.
No, he did. But does anybody? No, I'm not taking a dig at my rivals here just because we beat him in an FA Cup final. But I've thought this for about 12 months. Just because I've watched Alvarez at a World Cup final and all that sort of stuff. Does anybody else in this room think that Haaland's overrated?
Ooh, that's a hard thing to say.
City doesn't quite play what I think is to his strengths. He's a very counterattacking and behind guy. He's not the guy that's going to build up and play.
I will agree in part to that.
And Jesse Marsh has agreed with that.
And
when
his
he coached him at
strengths are
Salzburg.
he's a one-touch striker. You need to get down to the wings, cross the ball in, and he'll find a way to head it, get on the end of the ball. I don't think he's a counterattack, but
when he's driving at you, I think that's when he's at his best.
He's not going to dribble. But you are right. I think Alvarez needs to play more over Haaland.
Right. I
think that's what you're aiming at.
City are a more dangerous side when Alvarez plays.
Sure.
And to be honest with you, I think the team that would suit Haaland the most in world football would be Real Madrid.
Yep.
Wow.
Because and listen to what I'm saying here, right? Listen to what I'm saying just for a second. When Ronaldo went from the wing wizard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Running up and down the wing, cutting people to shreds and all that sort of stuff. He had to adapt his game when he got older, right?
Yep.
So he went and played centre forward.
Yeah.
And he played off the front too.
Yeah.
His mobility wasn't great. He was just in the right space at the right time, with the right runs, with the right movement, with the right crosses. He was just in the right place at the right time. Haaland reminds me of that. He doesn't do a lot of running.
No,
he's
he
not a great first touch player. Reminds me a little bit of Lukaku, really, to be honest with you, just with his first touch.
Yeah.
But he's an absolute destroyer in the box.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't you put him around players that can just whip a ball in and be creative, where City play a lot like Barcelona did, very intricate in and around the box?
And
who was one of the best strikers for them outside of Messi? David Villa.
That's how he was in the box.
David Villa, the
One-touch
Spanish
finish.
one-touch finisher,
Yeah.
really quick and sharp in and around the box and all that sort of stuff. I don't think he suits City.
I think
Yeah.
you're right. I think you're
That's
absolutely
fair.
right, because City do not whip balls in from the side down below, and low.
They ask
either.
they ask more from their forward than
Yeah.
they really do.
I've been saying for years he's only going to do a couple years at City, win some trophies, and go on to Madrid because he's all about his brand and market, and that's the next best place
Can
to
you
go.
imagine if he
Can you
heads
imagine
to Real
Mbappe?
Madrid?
Mbappe on the right.
Yep.
Vinny
Oh.
Jr. on the left and Haaland down the middle. That's ridiculous. And Bellingham behind him.
Oh my word!
And Alphonso Davies on the wing.
All teams just need to give it up. Put your tools down.
That's-
Head to the bar.
I-
Watch, because Real Madrid will win everything.
I actually think Haaland will probably do one more year with
Yeah.
Pep.
Yeah.
When Pep goes, he goes.
Yep, I agree with that. Brooks, you have some comments. you'd like to
Yeah,
make out?
so David Kane commenting, Ilkay was severely missed. Kovacic is not even a substitute for him, like not even a total
Agreed.
replacement.
Agreed.
Alvarez for Haaland should have been the halftime sub. Doku for Silva. We were slow and not technical enough. And then Victor goes, let's see, overrated, no way, just because he's had a bad few games. Speaking of Haaland plays one way, and it's full bore, hard tackles, hard shots.
Okay,
And
I've
that's the
got
type
a
of player.
rebuttal to that, Victor, and I love you to pieces, brother, but I've got a rebuttal to that, right? Because I posted it in the group and I got shit for it, right? But it's actual truth. And this is the difference between Messi and Ronaldo. Don't tell me that Haaland is in the same breath as Messi or Ronaldo, because now it's 9 games, 9 major semi-finals and finals that Haaland hasn't had an assist or a goal in. So don't tell me he's world class. He
Agreed.
can't deliver in big games.
All right. Moving on, boys and girls. Listen, that was obviously the big game of the weekend, but there was other big games. I'm going to get to Southampton versus Leeds. Do you know Southampton versus Leeds had more people in attendance than it did in the FA Cup final?
1,000.
1,000 more.
1,000.
1,000 more.
And it was probably sponsors.
All right, so Southampton actually did beat Leeds in Wembley, 1-0. Southampton are Premier League. So next year we have Leicester City, Ipswich Town, and Southampton coming to the Premier League.
All right.
In my opinion, 2 of those will be going down. I think 1 will stay. Just my thoughts there, boys, on that. But congratulations, Southampton. Welcome back.
It was
to
a good
Premier
game,
League.
actually. I liked it.
Yeah.
It was a good game.
That goal that Southampton scored, they were just waiting for Leeds to come out of that little low block, and they went so deep into the Leeds half, without Leeds coming out, it took the front line, the midfielder, to finally step about 10 feet out, and then boom, 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 goal.
Adam Armstrong's had a really good season for Southampton this year. I think he's bagged 25 goals, but he's been involved in 40 goals he's been involved in. Really good player.
I still think Southampton and Ipswich Town are relegated back to the Championship next year. I think Leicester City will find they've been in the Premiership before. They know what's required. They'll go out and buy some players.
Well, Leicester City have got more prestige, right? They've won a major trophy in the Premier League, whether it was unexpected or not, and they've got that money now, So, it'd be interesting though, because obviously the manager merry-go-round right now, and it seems like Maresca is going to be the new Chelsea boss. So he's leaving Leicester and going to Chelsea.
Yeah.
So there's definitely going to be a manager merry-go-round there.
So the interesting thing was, I had a conversation earlier today with my dad, and I said, listen, it's interesting that Bayern Munich, we'll get to the whole merry-go-round for managers in a couple of minutes, but the example I gave him, it's kind of going upon what you just said there, Danny, was after Burnley were promoted last year with such a historic championship season, every big club was circling around Vincent Kompany. He said, no, I'm going to stay with Burnley. And then they were relegated this year. And he didn't do very well, to be honest. Burnley were poor in the Premiership. But luckily for him, Bayern Munich asked everybody and their brother if they wanted to be a manager. And they said no. And Vincent Kompany actually said yes. So he's off. But should a manager who has been promoted with a team from the Championship to the Premiership, and he's offered, we'll say, a big club. Chelsea's a big club. They got a lot of money. Should you make that jump, or should you stay loyal? I think, because here's what's going to happen, as is what usually happens with a team that's promoted. Within a couple of weeks or a couple of months, if things aren't going well in the Premiership and they're losing games and they look like they're going to be relegated, what happens? They're sacked. They're gone because they need the new manager to jump. So if you get to a club of a stature like Chelsea and they offered you a 3, 4, 5-year deal, I think you take it. And I think you go, loyalty is here. I did my job, but I'm sorry. You can't turn it down, right? You just can't.
Do you know what's interesting about the Vincent Kompany deal? And I want Nate's thoughts on this just because it's the Bundesliga. Is why him? I get the fact that they had 5, 6 managers turn them down, but why him?
I have no flipping idea. I think Munich are batshit crazy. I think I have no idea. I'm baffled by that one.
Do you think that they took a phone call from Pep Guardiola saying he's a student of me, and he's a great manager?
It came out of
nowhere. I don't know, because Pep wasn't actually viewed as a success in Munich.
Right.
He wasn't. He didn't. He was brought in to win the Champions League. Never did. And then he left early. And then So I don't think they're taking his.
The only thing that I can think of, really, to be honest with you, when I talk about this deal, is the only thing I can think of. So go back a year, and I did watch some of those championship games.
Yeah.
They played some incredible football.
Oh yeah.
And the only thing that I'm thinking is like, okay, well, he's gone into the Premier League, and the Premier League's a different animal, right?
Oh,
different animal, right? And
Here we go.
Well, over the Championship, compared to the Championship, it absolutely is.
Over the Championship, I'm not saying anything about Munich, but
and Munich's a different animal than all of them, and the Champions League is a different animal than all of them.
True, right? But there's definitely because of the way that Munich got embarrassed this year, there's going to be a reaction to that, right? And everybody in their mother, whether they got knocked out of the Champions League in the semi-final, or they got beaten to the league, and they finished in third now behind Stuttgart as well. There's going to be a reaction to that, money reation to it, player reaction.
They can't do a money reaction.
Yeah, they can't do a city because there's the rules.
Why do you think they bought Eric Dyer?
Because he was on a free, essentially.
Yeah,
at loan.
They have the 4th highest wage bill in Europe in a league that doesn't allow you to go in the red or the black.
So you're telling me there's hope if Harry Kane come into Manchester United?
They need to sell players.
Yeah.
They can't. And the players that they're going to sell, they ain't going to get shit for. Who's gonna throw out a lot of cash for Leo Goretzka? Well, that's a good idea. He's hobbling one leg. Yeah, that's a guy I want.
Isn't he like in his younger 30s? Goretzka?
Yeah, like they're in trouble.
And Kimmich?
Yeah, Kimmich is actually all right.
I would take Kimmich in a heartbeat.
You say they're in trouble, but on a normal season, if Bayer Leverkusen hadn't done what they did this year, I mean, towards the end of the year, I still think Bayern Munich win the Bundesliga. And I know they finished third behind your Stuttgart
And what do
team.
you think's going to happen with Leverkusen?
I honestly think there's going to be a little slump next year. I don't think they're going to do
A slump?
Yeah, I
Didn't
don't
they just add a
think
midfielder?
They got money to spend, baby. Like you got one of the best managers in Europe, right? Is anyone denying that one right now?
Oh no,
Okay,
absolutely not.
So
I don't think you can.
Just
Right now.
taking a pulse right now, right? Like you got one of the best managers in Europe with a pay increase now into your club because you're going to be in Champions League.
Yeah.
You got a up and coming, really good manager in Stuttgart who's doing nothing. They're not losing anyone. They're building a squad. You got Leipzig. You got Leipzig still nipping there. You got
Dortmund
Dortmund still nipping there.
Yeah, they'll
and you
reload.
got an inflated budget with Munich, with 5 players that are front loaded a ton of money, of which that is capping them from actually balancing out a squad. They spent
So why do you think Tuchel? Do you think it was a mutual agreement that Tuchel left, or was it Tuchel turning around?
No, what happened was the board said, Tuchel, you're fired, right? And criticized him openly. And then they went, oops, made you look. And Tuchel went, fuck you. Like, I'm not coming back. They wanted him back. And he came back and said, no, I'm out.
and he was right to leave after the
done.
way they treated him, right?
Yeah, he was out.
Yeah.
I mean, like, listen, I don't know why they went Vincent Company. I don't know if that's the only guy that would take the job, but he wasn't their first choice. We all understand that, right?
Oh,
Company?
I don't think he was even their second or third choice,
No,
right?
I would
He
like
went,
Talk about
he went
company.
to Ralph Ragnick. and
Ralph
he said
Ragnick
no.
had a deal in place with the staff that was already signed and ready to go. All he had to do was sign the paper and turned around the next day and went, nah, I'm
Like
staying with
national
Austria.
team. Yeah.
Then they went to Tuchel and went, hey, please come back. And he went, meh, made you look. I don't know if they reached out to Hansi Flick, but he went off to,
We're gonna talk about that going to Barcelona
Yeah.
for God knows what reason. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes.
God knows
There.
what reason.
Right.
God knows what reason.
Tell me why.
He's gonna start. That is a renovation right there.
Do you want to jump into that conversation?
Hey, he's
right
gonna
now?
do some wonders there. Are you kidding me?
In a one-horse race? There's no way. Real
Madrid are going to dominate Europe and La Liga for the next 8 years.
Hand
Just
Real
wait.
Madrid.
Just wait.
You think Hansi Flick's going to turn that round? They
Did you
can't
not
register
forget
players.
that he won everything in 1 year?
He can't register players. They're so far
he
in
can't
debt.
register players like they couldn't register players years in the past. Bullshit.
They
They're
had
gonna find a
players
way.
last year they
They're
couldn't
gonna
register
find
at
a
the
way.
beginning.
They always find it. Just like, just you wait. City's gonna get. They're gonna get their day in court.
He went
None
there
of
for the
these.
payoff.
They're all bulletproof. All of them.
He went there for the payoff.
All of them.
When they sack him after a year and he's still got 4 years left in his contract, they're going to have to pay him. And they won't be able to pay him 4 years. They'll negotiate it down to a year and a half.
He'll get paid somehow.
They're
Trust me.
$1.2 billion in debt. They can't register players.
Barcelona are on a maybe 5-6 year rebuild.
Yes.
I've been hearing
They're
that they're in a 5-6 year rebuild for 6 some years from now. They'll never be able to sign players, and here comes them signing players. Well, how's that happening? I don't know. They're
How
just
did they
doing
do
it.
this year?
no,
How
they're
did they do this year?
They're pulling levers, baby.
So Kimmich to Barcelona,
They can't afford him. So how did they do this year?
What are they, second, third?
Kane to Barcelona.
Yeah, it's because the
Out of a
manager's
two-horse-
crap.
Out of a 2-horse race, they finished second.
How'd they do the year before?
By the way,
How'd they do the year before?
Second!
They finished
Did they win?
second.
Oh.
They finished second in a 2-horse race that was really a 3-horse race, and they still finished second.
Yeah, that's because you hired a former player who doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, Girona had it for a while. They just fell off a little bit, and that's a Man City affiliate, by the way.
They
So
They
Back
did.
to-
So-
I don't care about
Yeah.
Spanish league.
So La Liga, obviously, is what we're talking about. Barcelona, and a month ago, they came out that said Xavi is on his way. He's gone. We're looking for the next manager. A week later, they come back and say, oh, he's a manager. We're sticking with him. He's looking forward to it. Everybody's hugging. Now, all of a sudden, he's gone again. That's the way they treat managers.
yeah,
Disrespectful. Why would you want that job?
Do you know, I think this should be just like players, right? Just like players. I think it would be great for the players, the PMA, the Players Managers, Professional Managers Association, the PMA, should come together in Europe and try to negotiate a contract that is similar to a playing contract, in the sense that you can't fire a manager until the summer. You can't let a manager go until the summer, just like a player.
Sure.
You know, you can let a player go in January. You can let a player go in the summer. You can't let a manager go.
That's an interesting thought.
German league would never go for that. We fire managers after 2 months.
The wind changes and they fire managers.
If you're hiring a manager, right?
Yeah.
If you're hiring a manager in May for the start of the season in August, and you get to October, and you say to yourself, "Oh, I don't really think this manager's the right fit for us." You
just outlined half the German teams.
You're basically turning around and going, "Well, aren't you a bunch of arseholes then that can't get it right?"
Yeah.
So just let the manager do his job, right? And see what and make it so much more interesting to actually keep the manager around. You can only sack him in January or June.
However, Stuttgart sacked their manager and brought in Honus, and he's done wonders. He was a mid-year guy.
All right, we're
hold on. To sum of the company thing, the only thing I can think of is the fact that they're still paying Tuchel. They're still paying Tuchel for 1 year, and his whole staff is getting paid.
Yeah,
they couldn't afford a big name.
They just paid 15 million quid compensation to Burnley to get him.
Maybe it's a discount.
How did they not? How did they not got
I don't
money?
know. All right, we're gonna step away for a hot second here. We'll be back in 2 seconds right after this.
Tempo, yes, drop out, good. Yes, touch, play, right foot, yes. Scan, good. Touch in, play, drop your hip, right, yes, good scan. Yes. Jay, well done. Good side on touch. Play, see it, yes.
All right, we're back. Big thank you to Next Level Training and the guys of NLT. Big camps coming up this summer. If you haven't signed your kid up for any of those camps, get on it. Those spots fill. And much love to Aaron and his family at the moment. We're all thinking of you, buddy. All right, we're gonna jump back in here. Listen, managers. It used to be the summer transfer window would be silly season for rumors for players. That hasn't even kicked off yet, the silly season of rumors. It's all about the managers at the moment. I mean, like we said, Company to Bayern Munich. Vincent Company just relegated a team from the Premiership. We've got Roberto De Zerbi, who's left Brighton after a decent year. Where's he going? Thomas Frank of Brentford. There's rumors he's leaving. Xavi Hernandez just left Barcelona. Pochettino has just left Chelsea. There's some big openings. We've been talking about Eric Ten Hag. It's all about the managers. Boys, this is maybe not for you, Nate, in the Bundesliga, how they love the merry-go-round of the managers.
Yeah, we just fire people left and right.
Yeah, but for the Premiership, this is unique.
And we do that in the MLS, too. We fire guys left and right.
Oh, don't try to compare your league to us. Oh,
come on.
They do. But this is very unique. It's interesting because, yes, the Leicester manager is proposed to be headed to Chelsea, so that job could be sucked up there. Where does Pochettino end up? Pochettino did a masterclass, in my opinion, to get Chelsea to finish where they did.
And I have to believe. Oh, shut it. And I have to believe that Pochettino.
What?
Shut it. That he because he did do well. Come on.
He took
Cole Palmer saved him.
the youngest.
Cole Palmer saved him.
I don't.
That is what happened. Cole Palmer saved his ass. He still left.
And who?
There you go.
And who brought in Cole Palmer?
So
Where would Man United be without Garnacho? Where would Aston Villa be without Ollie Watkins?
It's kind of a silly.
I don't think it was the genius of Pochettino that saved that club.
Where
It
would-
was one player.
Where would Manchester City have finished without
Whoa,
the
whoa,
27 goals?
whoa, whoa. Just like rewind just for a second because I want to hear that comment come out your mouth again because it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
What?
What I just said about Pochettino is his genius. The genius of it was Cole Palmer that saved him.
Oh my dear Lord.
Every coach has that sometimes, and it was him that saved. If he did not score all those goals and get all those things, they would not be where they are.
The football that Chelsea played over the last 4 or 5 months was breathtaking at times.
Yeah, but you need to score goals. You can play fancy football, but if the ball doesn't go in the back of the net, what's
They
the
rose.
use of it?
They rose from like 13th to 7th.
Like,
At the end of the season,
he's
when it's
pissed.
really hard to
He's
do,
just pissed because he lost a bet.
he has to take us to dinner.
Wait until we do next year's predictions to see what I'll say.
So what's weird, and I strongly disagree with you because I think he had like a 60% win percentage. Actually, I think he is pretty solid, and it's not like he ran into a very good situation at Chelsea that wasn't a complete dumpster fire when he went in with all sorts of weird players and all this. And weren't you the guy going, they're going to self-destruct, the locker room's like a mess, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and looks like he...
I think they're pretty still divided. They just kind of got lucky.
And good. So now you agree with me. Hold
One of
on.
the youngest teams in the Premier League.
Now you agree
I agree
me.
with you.
Yeah, because he took a vital, toxic locker room that was divided and was
Sometimes
able to,
you just got to get over it as a player, but I think they're still
and
divided.
was able to navigate to 6.
Does anybody check Brooks for a concussion while he was away doing the
I don't know.
MLS stuff next week? Did he get hit in the head with a ball?
Well, he
or
did.
did he fall over and trip over one of his Indian ladies' friend's foot?
Hey, just out of quick curiosity, what is the biggest as a big time Premier League manager? What is like one of your biggest jobs? What are you supposed to do out of that other than tactics with your players? Is it not to get them all on the same page?
Yeah, to implement.
And
the
so
playing
if you had
style
a
and all the buy-in
divided,
into it.
toxic locker room like you just said, and he was able to get them all on the same page and finish 6, that would, I don't know, make you
a decent manager.
I don't know, you could maybe even say, Craig, great manager?
Here's a question. Here's a
You
question.
could say that. One could say that. One could say that.
Here's a question for you. If Unai Emery decided to take the Man United job tomorrow, would you entertain Pochettino?
Yes,
I would.
I
Okay.
would. I actually wanted him when they fired Steven Gerrard. I was like,
If they fire Ten Hag, there's only one manager I want to take over my football club, and that's Pochettino.
what about Tuchel?
Not Jose?
No.
No, not at all. So same question
wanted it
asked for
before.
brains.
What?
Yes. Because I remember someone telling me, oh, it's a all right.
That was not English.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you were referencing.
So,
Yes.
same scenario.
Yeah,
And company comes to your doorstep going, hey, I'm here, buddy. Yeah.
I think Vincent Kompany wins the Bundesliga next year.
Oh, you
But I would not take him at Aston Villa.
I think he finishes below Leverkusen and
not with
Stuttgart.
Tuchel,
Thank you.
Not with Tuchel, not with Pochettino, not with some of the or De Zerbi out there.
But hold on, but you're reinforcing my point though. Going back to that, and who knows, maybe they win. But I'm just saying, I think it's gonna be exponentially hard with the players that you have in that league now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anywho, back to this. What's weird with Pochettino is he wasn't fired.
Right. They mutually
agreed,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
tells me,
He didn't like where it was going.
well, or there was another job sitting out there.
Sure.
And I originally thought
I wonder if he had an option to get out of that.
You thought he was going to Bayern.
I thought he's going to go to Bayern.
Bayern made sense to me.
Bayern made a lot of sense.
Yes.
Bayern did. You did.
United makes a lot of sense.
It does. No.
What else makes a lot of sense? Because I don't know of anything else.
I don't know. I do want to
Well,
say
with Barcelona made sense if
It would have.
Yeah.
would have. God, yeah, would have. I do want to say
that's the more style I think.
Just
that
an
fits in.
FYI, Aston Villa today signed Unai Emery up for an additional 5 years.
They did.
So he will be there till 2029.
That's good. I mean, the guy deserves to be rewarded.
I think it. Sorry, Dan, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think he deserves to be rewarded, but I think they said there are clubs out there who need managers. and we've got a good one, so lock him up.
So the interesting one that I read on Twitter before coming in here tonight, because I was checking out some of the David Ornstein stuff from today from the manager merry-go-round, was that Brighton, because McKenna now is almost dead cert to sign a new deal at Ipswich,
Yes.
Graham Potter may be asked to come back to Brighton.
Oh boy.
That would be a great signing for them.
I know.
I think it would be.
I thought that would be awesome.
And
for
it's
Brighton.
not with tail between legs. It's let's do this again.
I just feel like
He
that's
wasn't fired. He wanted to go to
he
Chelsea.
left. Wouldn't you want to take a big
Yeah,
payday?
of
It was a
course.
mutual
Yeah,
agreement
it's a
again.
Mutual
Right.
agreement, right?
And they got compensated like $25 million
yeah.
for it.
So why wouldn't you bring back a manager that's had success?
I just feel like that's not in their DNA to bring back someone that wanted to leave. Like, if you loved the club enough, you would have stayed
I
long.
disagree because they sold him and they made a lot of money from it, and they had a backup.
But then when he comes back, does he want that money he was essentially sold for? Like, that's what the game you're playing, you know?
Brooks doesn't understand how economics works.
Yes, I do.
I think it.
He got paid a ton of money to go to Chelsea.
Yeah, when you come back, he's going to want to ask for more than what he
Nope.
was making
No.
before. And are you willing to pay him that much?
No, you shouldn't ask for more.
I don't know.
money.
If I'm unemployed, I'm not
He's
going to
the
walk
worst.
into the
If someone wanted to be back, I'd be like, I want more money because he's going to do that. And is it really worth it?
He tanked at Chelsea. He's been out of the job for 12 months. I think he goes there going, I probably shouldn't have left. I'll just take my same salary and
Yep.
you can
We
judge
good.
me by performance.
We good. Yeah. I
If
think
you're
it's-
looking
I
for a
take
job, are
Tuchel.
you walking and going like
If he comes in, he's going to.
after being
would
unemployed for 12 months?
I mean, you can
He can ask for more.
You can maybe turn around and go, you know what? I'll take the same contract, but I want an upgrading car.
yeah.
They might give you that.
Or
I
a
don't. The
closer
way
parking
agents
spot.
and everything work nowadays, that's not how it works anymore.
I mean, you're not.
There are guys
wrong.
that get paid absurd amount of money that aren't worth.
You're
what
not
they're
wrong, but at
You're
this
not
point, he
wrong.
should just take the money
Come
that
on.
he's being
worth.
offered.
Like
Not
his
wrong.
company.
Vincent
yeah,
Kompany.
I mean,
Come on.
no, listen, I
Come
just
on.
think, I just think they're drunk.
If companies making more than $1 million a year, it's too much.
Well, I will say this though, they haven't officially signed company. So the only thing I can think about is that maybe they're playing hardball with somebody else. Like, we're going to sign this guy if you don't sign whoever that somebody else is.
Maybe they're just waiting for Ten Hag to say United to sack Ten Hag, and then they're going to get. Sorry, Vincent, but we're going with the bold.
You can be an assistant to Ten Hag.
Yeah.
Well, so according to Fabrizio Romano, that right now Burnley and Bayern are in negotiation, but it's very close.
So
due to be signed in the next day or two.
So let's say this, right? Let's say this. Let's say that Ten Hag stays at Manchester United, right?
Yeah.
Let's say that Potter does go back to Brighton.
Yeah.
Let's say Maresca goes to Chelsea, right? So you've got Leicester City with an open job in the Premier League.
Yep.
You've got managers on the market like
De Zerbi.
De Zerbi, Pochettino, and Tuchel.
Tuchel.
Where are they going?
Does Tuchel take a job that low? That's the
No.
thing.
Oh, whoa, hold on a sec. 4 managers. Jose Mourinho.
Oh yeah. Hasn't he? Is he still linked to Saudi Arabia and all that stuff?
Out of the
I
most,
think
the most
I feel like
interesting-
he's old.
I
He
think-
wants some
I
money.
think- I think Eddie Howe gets the chop.
You think so?
I think
Really?
Eddie Howe gets the
At
chop.
Newcastle?
Yeah, I think Eddie Howe gets the
Because
chop.
Kind of came back at the end of the year and got him ironed.
Yeah,
No.
but if
They
Newcastle,
got dumped out of the Europa League.
You wouldn't put it past the Saudi Arabia country that owns Newcastle that they would chop him and go to a Mourinho or a Tuchel.
I think they do based on doing nothing and finishing outside top 4.
If Howe gets chopped, I want him at Brighton.
Who?
If Howe gets chopped, I want him at Brighton.
I would take him at Brighton and a half.
I think
that'd
he'd be a
great move.
great coach for
Yeah.
Brighton.
Wow. Yeah. It is. What right now is the most interesting job that is open in the Premiership? And I think we can say Chelsea's that's locked.
Chelsea, I think.
I think that's a lock for that's a done
Maresca,
deal,
yeah.
Maresca. So I think that's is it Leicester City? That's still.
That could be a job for Graham Potter, really.
Did he
Mm-hmm.
he interviewed for
I
that
could.
job last year, I believe.
Yeah,
I think
said
he
didn't
interviewed-
want it though, didn't he, in the Championship?
Yeah. Or yeah.
Who
when
signed
was
at
that?
West Ham?
Was it the prior year as
Or
they were
does
getting
Ole Gunnar
relegated?
does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer come back and take Leicester?
No.
That would be a good shout.
Is he? Is
There's
he
a lot of
is he
managers
on the
out
Or
there.
sideline?
Brighton. Or Brighton.
I would take him at Brighton.
He would
No,
fit in at
Brighton, for
Brighton, I
instance.
think.
Is he on the sideline or is he coaching still?
He's coaching.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there.
Who did West Ham just sign?
Lauren
Oh.
Popescu.
Yeah, and I don't know much about him to be.
No,
honest.
was it Lopetegui?
Yes, Laura Pateki. Yeah.
Lopetegui.
I don't
That
know
was a
where
good
he's
move by them.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
And not many people know that. Like,
Yeah, I don't know too
he
much
won
about it, to be
back-to-back
honest.
Europa League titles with Sevilla.
Mm-hmm.
Guy's a genius.
Yeah, I think he fits the
he's-
style they
he's
want to
actually-
play.
He's a real deal, man.
And I had a conversation with Nathan Clark, Jags coach.
I had a conversation with him
big-
too.
Oh, lucky you. Was it about West Ham?
That and what he wanted for lunch.
Oh, okay. So, and he said, listen, David Moyes did a great job when he was in charge here at West Ham. Won us a Europa Conference League trophy. Forever thankful for that, but it was time. It's time to move on.
Sure.
And I agree. Now, the way that the relationship between Moyes and West Ham came to an end, probably not the best, but it was definitely time.
Does David Moyes take the Leicester City job?
I honestly think David Moyes
Or is he
takes some
done?
time off.
Okay.
So
I think
can I
he's-
read you word for word the text message conversation I had with him?
With
Hopefully it doesn't
Nathan
matter.
Clark?
Yeah, I said,
Are you
ooh.
going to tell us his lunch order?
No. I said, ooh, Lepertecki. Interesting. He goes, we'll see. Leverkusen are shit. Why do you hate me?
Oh, it's brilliant. Well done, Nate. Nathan, not you. All right. So a lot to get to. A lot more we can talk about. Managers, I do want to talk here real quick. Do we think after Man City lost the FA Cup final to Man United, do we think now still that Pep Guardiola is deserving of the Premiership Manager of the Year?
No.
No, I don't think at all. I think
Because
he's-
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off,
No,
but
you're
I do
fine.
want to. These were the managers. These were the 5 candidates: Jurgen Klopp, Mikel Arteta, Pep Guardiola, Unai Emery, and the one we all agreed on with what? Andoni Iraola from Bournemouth. I think we just cancel that one. Listen, Jurgen Klopp, Mikel Arteta, Guardiola, or Unai Emery.
It's just like the and again I'm probably going to go back on a statement here. Brooks is going to light my ass up for it, but it's the Premier League Manager of the Year award. It's just like it was kind of like the Ballon d'Or last year. Just like give it to the most popular person.
Popular guy who
who's done something.
right.
well, that's just how all these awards work.
Right.
now.
It's just like give it to Pep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can't wait for Messi to win the Ballon d'Or this year.
no, as an MLS player, what a fucking joke. But yeah, no, just give it to the most popular guy.
Yeah.
Because like
It's
you
the
said,
easy
like you said, I don't think City fired on all cylinders this season, me personally, but they ended up winning a fourth title. And me, if I'm being objective and I'm not trying to stick my nose in Craig's ass, but if I was being if I was looking at managerial performance based off squad development, I would have given it to Unai Emery. To get into the top 4 with the volume of teams in the Premier League that are top tier level teams is an achievement in itself.
Yep.
Pep has won the Premier League, and as he says, it's turning into a farmers' league, which I somewhat agree with at times.
Whoa.
Nate's like, what?
Somewhat agree at
Can
times.
you repeat that?
Even though
I'm sorry, I might have been
Even though
still
they-
drunk from
even though they've
the
got
barbecue,
115
neighborhood barbecue.
charges hanging over their head, I somewhat agree with it at times. Unai Emery's achievement this year
With the squad
with the
that he
squad
had.
that he inherited
100%.
is managerial quality.
I would even be okay if Unai Emery didn't win it and it was Mikel Arteta, because I think he's done a great job this year. I think it was the easy choice just to give it to Pep, the popular guy. Jurgen Klopp, in my opinion, did not earn it. That was a not. But I think Mikel Arteta or Unai Emery were probably more deserving.
Right.
I disagree a little bit. Now, I will say this. I think Arsenal this year had one of the best years they ever had.
Mm-hmm.
I think
It was historic.
Liverpool
Yeah, very good year.
re-upped their squad and came in firing on all cylinders.
Mhm.
And City was still able to get it done.
They gave him a run.
And just like any criminal mastermind who just loves to steal things and get away with it, I think Pep is just that evil genius that gets away like a robber and has
Alright.
stole himself a manager of
Alright,
the year.
well-
No, I will say those. No, in all seriousness, I do think Emery should have won it as well.
Yep.
Never being, you got a team that's never been in the Champions League into the Champions League.
Do you not think though, like, and again, I'm not shitting on their parade, right?
I was
But do you not think
to the
that
big old Doogie.
this asterisk that is right there next to their name right now with these charges is a lot like the Lance Armstrong shit?
I don't want to put that in
Like
the
the Reggie Bush
conversation.
Heisman Trophy.
I don't want to put that in the conversation with Pep, though, because that's not really much to do with him, right?
No, this started
Right.
with Mancini.
It started before him. This
It started with
started
Mancini and
before-
Pellegrini. Yes,
right.
it
This
did.
this and he doesn't sit at that level.
Are you gonna rip me a new one?
Is he benefiting? Maybe, but
Wasn't he the guy who quoted say that if this was ever found out, he would resign?
Yes.
yes, but
I accept your resignation then, Pep.
I mean, well, yeah. We can go
I
into
mean,
that.
if you openly make that comment and don't do
They
that,
haven't been found guilty.
okay,
That was his quote. If they found guilty,
sweet,
he would. They're not
awesome.
guilty.
Was Lance Armstrong ever found guilty?
He was. He admitted to it.
Are you sure? Well, okay, after
to it.
he admitted to it.
Yeah, after he found.
After he was done and retired, and that's basically what's going to happen here.
Well, you know what? I think by the time
I think nothing's gonna happen.
Pep will be long gone.
Yep.
I think he's got one more year and then he's out. And I'm going to agree with Danny Price that said one more year he's out, and Haaland will probably follow him out the door as well. All right, we are going to move on, boys. I got some interesting stuff to get to here. Before we get to a couple more pieces, I do want to say a big congratulations and good luck to the 2011 Farmington Fury boys team. The youngest Farmington Fury team to go to and potentially win the State Cup. State Cup final is next Saturday, June 1st in Saginaw. Coach Chino and the boys doing a great job. I hope you guys win that. I hope to, and I expect to see a picture sent to us here at We Are Soccer that we can show to all our viewers. So good luck, and good luck to a lot of the other teams competing in State Cup finals next weekend as well. All right, listen, we are going to be right back. We are going to we got a lot of different things to get to. Join us. We got 30 minutes left right after this.
Hi, Brooks. We're at our favorite store, Soccer World in Rochester. We're just going to do some light shopping. Nothing big. Ooh, pretty colors. Oh, and one of these too?
Ooh, Germany. Nate would like this.
Hey, Brooks, look at all these. Look what I got.
South America. Ooh. Wow, that's not MLS. Cool.
Socks? No.
Ooh, a ball pump.
Next in line.
Sir, you're next.
Right. That's a mannequin. You know that.
Huh?
It's a mannequin.
Oh. Sorry, sir.
Craig, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Huh?
I'm Craig Hearn. Today, I'm here with the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. He's going to show me some simple exercises and stretches to do before my soccer games. Because to be honest, I'm getting a little older and I need to be better prepared for these games. All right, he's got some stuff he's going to show us. Let's jump in.
What's up, guys? Dr. Zach here with Craig. We're going through a dynamic warm-up here. Super important, especially in this age group as we get older. A lot of guys that I see, they go right from their car and straight to the field without any warm-up. We want to make sure that we're getting the body warm, we're getting loose, we get the heart rate up so that we can help reduce injury. All right, guys, so I've got Craig currently doing some grass sweeps. He's doing a Frankenstein stretch, and he's also going through some pogos right now. Whoa, Craig, what the hell?
Yep. Sorry, Doc.
All this newfangled dynamic warm-up, this and that. What was wrong with my old warm-up? Oh, yeah, the doc was right. Definitely need the new warm-up. Oh, good Lord.
All right, big thank you to our partners, Dr. Zach Atwood, the football doc. Big thank you to Soccer World. They had an awesome tent down at the Canton Cup this weekend. Let us know where you guys were playing, where your kids were playing this weekend, where you were coaching. I know there were a lot of tournaments. I personally was out in Kalamazoo at the KISS tournament. My daughter, she played pretty well, actually. Her team won their division, 4-0, 3-0. 2-1, and then one in the finals, 2-1 as well. My daughter with the final goals, the game-winning goals in the semifinals and the finals. So very proud of her. It's a great great long weekend of soccer. Yeah, it was awesome, man. All right, guys, a couple of more things to get to. I don't know how many people watched the game today. It was the 2024 Bundesliga relegation game is what they call this. And they have it like on the big board. It's crazy, the name of it, and I love it. So if you're not aware, there are 18 teams in the Bundesliga. If you finish 18th, you're relegated. If you finish 17th, you're relegated. If you finish 16th...
Do you also know that this the least amount of teams in any Division 1 within the top Europe leagues that there is?
Yeah, there's normally 20 or 20.
Thank you very much.
So if you finish 16th, you're not automatically relegated. Bundesliga 2, if you finish first, you're automatically promoted. If you finish second, you're automatically promoted. If you finish third, you go into a home and away playoff against that 16th placed Bundesliga team. So in the past week, it has happened. Dusseldorf played away at Bochum, who finished 16th. Dusseldorf went into Bochum and won 3-0 last week. They absolutely destroyed Bochum. So everybody's thinking, well, that's it. Welcome to the Bundesliga, Dusseldorf. That next game you have to play at home, by the way. It's just, don't worry about it. You've got this. Bochum went to Dusseldorf today on ESPN Plus and smoked Dusseldorf 3-0. They could have had 3 or 4 more. It went to extra time. Both teams were throwing hammer and tongs at each other up and down the field. Players all over the place falling over with cramps. It was crazy. This game, I swear to you, was one of the best games I've seen in a long time. It went to penalties. 7-6. Bochum. Romain, Bundesliga. Dusseldorf have to go again in Bundesliga 2. Nate, I don't know about you, man, but this game, I was enthralled with it, man. I loved it.
Yeah, it was exciting. Honestly, I didn't think they were going to do it because and I think Brooks, you asked me, we're like, hey, were you surprised that Dusseldorf won? And the first leg, and I was like, nope. And the reason why was I think it's very easy for these games if you're the team that has the hot hand going in there, momentum, winning like they were, and they were actually doing well in their league. It's much easier to beat a team that is struggling. And Bochum was absolutely struggling to the point where they fired their coach. And 7 matches ago, they hired their League 2 youth coach to kind of do the job. So I thought they were just going to get crushed. I really did. I thought they were out. They were done. Good on them for rallying and coming up with a plan to at least pull back those 3 goals and take it to pens. So, and that's what happened. And boy, that was an exciting penalty shootout because the first one up, Bochum scores there, Dusseldorf missed theirs. And then it went back and forth for a bit. And then, at the end of the day, they just barely nudged them out after about 6 penalty kick takes. Yep. So it was nice.
One of the things, okay, so the game was refereed phenomenally well. The referee,
all German matches are.
Was
yes.
A man manager. When there was an issue, he went up. He talked to them before the penalty kick shoot up. He talked to both both goalkeepers. He kind of gave them a hug. It was very well refereed, and this is something I warmed my heart. Every time there was a penalty kick taken, the 2 goalkeepers walked past each other. They kind of gave each other a little bit of a high five. Whether that goalkeeper stopped their team from scoring or he let it in, and it was real. My dad made this comment. It was surprising how quick the penalties were taken because when the ball went into the net, the goalkeeper who just let it in picked up the ball, tossed it back to the penalty spot. So the guy walking up puts it down, whistle blows, shoot. Might have been the quickest penalty kick shootout I've ever seen. Goalkeepers super respectful, players super respectful. After what I've seen in the last couple of years and again, Emi Martinez does the antics. It's what he does. I get it with him and a bunch of others, the stutter steps from the kickers and all that stuff and the antics going on from everybody. This was really fun to watch, and it warmed my heart. It's like this is what the game's about, man. So,
and we'll say this
credit to them.
Before ending this, again, the team with a high hand. The last time Dusseldorf lost prior to today was 4-0 April 3rd against Leverkusen.
Wow.
Oh, and Polka?
So they have been on a win streak, win or draw that since April.
That's dude, and
And that's what I mean. And then on the flip side, the last time Bochum was won, well, you're going to have to go back a little ways. So you got to go back to May 5th as last time they won prior to today. So they just haven't been doing well. So
did you know, Nate, that this is the first Bundesliga relegation battle that has gone to penalty kicks since 1987-88?
yeah, I don't remember one that long ago because there's a 2-leg tie, and so normally it's decided within those two legs. It's rare that you get
nutty.
You get the exact same score both times, home and away, to send you there.
So who's going up? So it's obviously Dusseldorf doesn't. So it's St. Pauli, right?
Yep, St. Pauli's going up, and I just had it up. I want to say Heidel. Is it Heidel? No, hold on one second.
Heidelheim?
No. It's a
Holstein Kiel.
Holstein. Yeah, thank you. Holstein Kiel.
That's American owned.
Oh, of course.
Holstein Kiel. And St. Pauli actually would be very interesting in the league next year because their fans
That's their first time ever in the league, right?
Not first time ever, but first time long time. First time in like 20-some-odd years.
I'm sure the DCFC faithful will be rooting for them since when they came and played that friendly here.
They came and played a friendly here in Detroit City.
Did they get a bunch of money like they do in the Premier League?
You did get a bunch of money, yes.
Okay.
You get because you do get the TV contracts re-upped for sure. So you do get money, and you do lose money going down. So that's also why it's just like in
you don't get the parachute payment in the Bundesliga.
No.
Like you do in the Premier League.
No, you get nothing. You lose a shit ton of money. It's very hard to get back.
No
I mean,
parachute payment?
ask Schalke. Schalke is in Hamburg has yet to come, and Hertha Berlin. Schalke finished 10th. Hertha finished 9th. And they're still struggling to regain form and get back.
Schalke were a great team 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago they were. It's all right. So
financial problems with
I
them.
do want to explain real quick to a lot of people who may just be a little lost in the conversation we just had. So in the Premier League, if you are relegated for the next 3 years, you're receiving 90 million pounds over the next 3 years to help ease the pain of being relegated, so you don't have to let players and staff and backroom staff go. So they're called parachute payments. If you are promoted to the Premiership, it is worth up to 200 million pounds.
Yeah, that's what Southampton got yesterday.
That is a lot of money. And why? Where does that money? People ask me all the time. Well, that's amazing. Where does this come from? It's the TV revenue rights. It's the money that the Premiership take in from selling the rights to the Premiership to view around the world. It's a business. That's just the way it is.
I thought it was from the soccer gods.
Yeah, the soccer gods. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I need something soccer. Gods
I heard a rumor the other day, and I don't know whether it's true or not. We'll have to dig into it a little bit more deeper so we can give our viewers a little bit more accurate information. But somebody was saying to me the other day that the Premier League is in negotiations with Netflix.
Heard that. Netflix have been buying rights to a couple of
Go
leagues.
live every weekend with all 10 games.
That'd be great.
That'd be huge. Like everyone's on that, and there's ads already, and there's different.
Didn't
levels of
Peacock and
subscription.
NBC just pay for it for the next 10 years though? So they would have to buy the rights from them as well. So there's gonna have to be
They have more money than
Netflix
they
have
do.
got more money than God.
So they're gonna have to pay off NBC and Peacock, and then
I don't think their cash flows as much, but they still have more than the other
And
networks.
not to hitch my wagon and to something that nobody cares about, but apparently the Bundesliga is in the process of reworking out a new TV deal as well. Here domestically in the States. So
incredible, isn't
Nice.
it? So now the money that's earned from these clubs being in the Premiership and beating the Bundesliga, being in the top league, is even more prevalent. You have to be there. If you're not in one of those top leagues, you could be screwed.
I mean, if I was Netflix and I went in and let's say that I'm just throwing out numbers here. Don't know whether it's exact or not, but let's say the NBC deal and the Peacock deal's $1 billion. Right, over 10 years, and Netflix went in and said, "Yeah, we'll buy you out, and we'll buy you out for $5 billion," just like they did with WWE. And they raised their price from I think it's $6.99, $7.99 right now, or something like that, or $10.99.
I think it's $14 a month or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't pay it.
And they went to $25 a month for all 10 games every weekend. Would you pay for it?
I mean, I have to. I got to watch the
100%.
games.
I would
I got to
do
pay.
it.
We got to
In a
watch the
heartbeat.
games. Yeah,
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And then you translate that to every other fan in the world. They make the money back really quickly.
And everybody knows that too. It's nutty.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Also, what's great for them too is the pricing tier they have now with the ads. I mean, if they know they have the Premiership and someone else, do you know how many companies are going to be spending ads because people are going to be watching those games all day long?
100%.
Yeah,
Streaming is the way forward, man. It's just
Oh, it
it's
is.
incredible.
It is. I mean, Apple are proving it with MLS, right? I mean, I think they're making their money back. And it didn't hurt that Messi's gone there. Now everybody sees Messi playing in the MLS. It's some young kid, by the way. I don't know if you know Nate.
Is he ever going to make it in this league?
He's got some time.
I don't know. I don't know about Messi right now, but Suarez is on fire.
Do you hear about the big, not to
Who
pivot,
called that.
You mean
not
Di
to
Maria?
pivot, but you hear about the big rumor that the MLS conspiracy fans are saying?
Oh,
So you know that Miami has an extra game in hand above everyone else in the league, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
And have it for a long
They've had it almost the entire season.
Yeah.
They've played a lot. They front loaded their schedule.
Right. So the big rumor is like a lot of people, a lot of fans that I've seen are like, hey, they only did this so they can stay up on top and not have to deal with anyone because right now FCC and I haven't looked at the table, they actually might have jumped them, but they were as many wins and losses they just had an extra. Miami's just always had that extra game, so there's always one ahead of them. So they're all going, "That's scandalous."
Is Nate?
You're 1 point below them right
Is
now.
that on
Yeah,
your?
but I think they still have a game in hand, don't they?
Nate, did you get that out of your?
See, that's what I'm saying.
Did you get that out of your MLS group or your conspiracy theory group?
I got that from Ancient Aliens.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the conspiracy. theory.
I'm a part of the conspiracy theory group as well.
You're both weirdos.
He's still.
Yeah.
Me and Terrence Howard with the Flower of Life.
He's still trying to get me to join the Mulder and Scully X-File group from 25 years ago.
Good. Hey, true South there, bro.
Come over and watch X Files with me, Danny, please.
Yeah.
He's enticing me
I
with
don't think it's that one.
No.
blankets and
Wow.
popcorn.
Really?
That's
Wow.
He doesn't
really?
watch TV or movies.
Nah.
I watch soccer.
And you tried to
all
use
the
the reference.
He
You're like,
likes soccer and Bluey. Those
Man,
are the
that
two
blew-
things he
that-
watches.
Oh, I told you never to tell anybody I watch Bluey.
that
sorry.
blew up in your face. You're like, I know. I got this reference that went him over. And you just
You
went,
have 3 young kids. You're expected to watch children's stuff.
Are you supposed to watch Bluey with kids?
I mean, you need to laugh every once in a while.
Onwards we go, boys. Just onwards we go. All right, I do want to say this. The Greek Cup final happened this weekend. After the distribution of 3 red cards in the Greek Cup final, Stephanie Frapport. Yes, they had a
Do they yell Opa when you get cards?
They did a lot more than yell at this
okay.
poor woman referee.
Oh, man.
She had to be evacuated by police at the end of the match. The French referee, a woman, was reffing the Greek Cup final. She had to be evacuated by police out. The referee drew the wrath of the players, staff, and president, Aris Salonika, at the end of the match, won by Panathinaikos.
Panathinaikos?
Not good scenes.
Yeah.
Not good scenes, fellas. She literally was surrounded by police and had to be evacuated out because people were attacking her. Not good. This seems to be happening a lot. In the Greek and the Turkish leagues, it's probably not a good place to go be a referee with how passionate they are and then make some bad calls and throw red cards.
Yeah. Or Red Star Belgrade. That's probably not one you want to go to.
Yeah, I don't think many people are going to want to ref there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Players.
yeah, this is true. All right, Christian Pulisic finished his first season in Serie A with 15 goals and 11 assists across all competitions for AC Milan. What a hell of a year. He joins Rafael Leao, Paulo Dybala, as the only players in Serie A with 15 goals and 10 assists across all competitions. And he is a U.S. men's national team player who's heading back to America for the Copa América, which starts in a couple of weeks here.
Yeah. They
what
got
a-
to play
what
some
a season
friendlies
he had,
here
huh?
against Brazil and one other team I forgot.
While I was away in Kalamazoo at my kids' tournament, there were quite a few Christian Pulisic jerseys being worn. People are taking note. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, this Christian Pulisic kid, he might
Serie
have
A. The Serie A is going to make a comeback because of Christian Pulisic. He's going to be that influential, just like Beckham was.
Well, Danny, I have something for you.
All right.
Do you want to take a stab at the top 5 leagues in the European, actually pretty much the world, top 5 leagues and how they sit in order? You know, you've got the Liga, Premiership.
Is this the thing we did
Bundesliga, Serie A.
last week?
The thing I did with you, my friend.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so
If they haven't watched
take a
it.
stab at it.
Yeah, go for it. What do you think the order is?
Premier League's 1.
Yep, you got it. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely spot on.
2. Bundesliga.
Okay. All right. Yep. Good guess.
3.
Mhm.
Italian Serie A.
Okay, so you're going to put that above La Liga.
Oh, I forgot about that.
See? Yeah, see? You got paid.
Okay, La Liga third.
Okay. Bundesliga second, La Liga third, Serie A.
And then I'm going to go with the Turkish league.
Oh, that's a good guess. Okay, so I'm going to give you this. This is the official UEFA men's coefficient. Premiership 1, Serie A 2, La Liga 3, Bundesliga 4, League 1 5th.
Wow.
Yeah. Money, revenue, money generated, and views. Pretty much are the main driving force.
if you go back 25 years, Juventus, AC Milan,
Inter Milan,
When
Inter
original
Milan.
Ronaldo was playing, right?
like those
Napoli.
those 4 clubs, holy shit, like they were so prominent in the Champions League 25 years ago.
I'm trying to think of the team that 25, 30 years ago. God, this would have been 30 years ago that David Platt joined from Villa, and who was the club that
Napoli.
Alexi Lalas went to and played over there, right?
Right.
But Italian Serie A used to be monstrous, and then it went through this like
They had a lot of financial
But
issues.
the Juventus team of 97 through 2000 that had Zidane in it, and Zidane
and Davids and
And what's his name that's there? Pavlo.
Seedorf and
Seedorf was
what's
it?
his
Yeah,
fella,
yeah, yeah.
Inzaghi up front, you know, and they had Buffon in goal. It was like unbelievable.
But it went through this down point. I don't know if it was the money that was running through the league or the conspiracy theories or the cheating and the scandals that really took it down. But it seems to be on its way back. And right now we've got a couple of Americans in the Serie A who are doing really well. And Christian Pulisic is one of the only players who's got 15 goals and 10 assists and is leading the way. So
How is Ruben Loftus-Cheek done?
He's actually done well for AC
He's
Milan.
done well. Yeah, he's had. I would like.
It's good for your England squad.
I don't think he was in it.
He doesn't get
He wasn't
anywhere
in
near
it.
the England squad, mate.
I think he
Anywhere near
should.
it.
I think he should be considered, but he won't. He isn't. Speaking of the England squad, Euros are coming up, guys. Just an FYI, we're about 2 weeks away from the start of the Euros.
Oh, wow.
No.
June 14th through July 14th is what the Euros run. I mean, we have literally just finished our domestic seasons. The FA Cup was the other day.
Got friendlies next week.
This friendly's kicking off.
Yeah.
These players have no rest.
Yeah.
I selfishly today, I said, I hope Ali Watkins and Ezri Konsa for Aston Villa don't play in the Euros. I hope England, and you know I'm a huge
think-
England fan, I hope they get knocked out early so my players can be ready for the start of
I
next
think
year.
they've got this week off. So they've got that week off.
Yeah.
So all the Premier League players and players that got done with their FA Cup this weekend have got this entire week off, and then they join their camps on Monday.
Yes.
It's usually a couple of days after the Champions League final. So Bellingham is going to be, late to camp probably.
The kid's going to be knackered.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our star player for the year. He's going to be knackered for the Euros.
Well, doesn't matter when you slot Kobe Manu in there now.
It's going to be interesting to see how much he plays, if that's the way. So 2 weeks away from the start of Euros.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the Euros, the final is July 14th. The final for Copa America, also July 14th.
No way the final's July 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all on that one
God.
day.
Jana, if you're listening, honey, we have to change our flight.
Danny, are you going to be the first one to say it, or do you want me to do it?
I've already said it. There's not a team there's not a team in my mind that can beat England at this Euros.
Yeah, it's coming home. It's coming home.
Name me a team that can beat England, please.
France,
No.
Netherlands,
No.
Germany on a good day,
No.
Italy.
Italy?
Yep.
Name me a better front six than the one that we've got.
Name you a better front six than the one you got.
Yep.
Well, I believe Kai Havertz, Musiala, and
No.
No.
Those two wouldn't even get into the front six.
wouldn't
of
even get
England.
into the front six of England.
I think Musiala and Florian Wirtz would absolutely get in your front six.
Rice.
Wirtz has done really well for Leverkusen.
Rice.
Wirtz was Bundesliga Player of the Year.
Rice, Manu, Bellingham, Foden, Saka, Kane. There's not a player in the French team outside of Mbappe that gets in that.
And I would swap Grealish in there at any one point.
Right.
I would say Mbappe would play over Saka.
It's almost like I've heard this before. Good luck, guys.
Danny,
So, hon, when
Danny,
you-
the only thing I gotta say is hopefully they fucking win it this time.
I
because-
think-
Hopefully this
one
time.
thing, okay, one thing is if
How
they
about
don't
one
win
time?
it,
Because
if they
they've never
don't
won it.
just once would be nice.
if they don't win it and it doesn't come home, you can't just complain.
Why
Yeah,
not?
they can.
But that's what English people do.
English-
This is the song and dance.
I know.
Have you not?
You're new to this?
Yeah. Has
I
he
am.
not been paying attention this whole time? We complain. It's what we do.
Did you not see 4 years ago where we complained about the Euro Italy final?
Yes, I remember that.
Those dirty cheaters. Chiellini. Should have been sent off.
Should have had a penalty.
Yeah.
Twice.
Fine,
Nice.
you can't backtrack on
Portugal-
what. Fine. You
Portugal
can
is
complain,
really
but you
good,
can't
too.
backtrack on what we're all talking about now.
What, that we didn't think they were going to win or they shouldn't have won?
No, that like
We're going to blame it on the
like you
manager.
talk about the front six here, and then somehow some other team does a lot better than your front six, and like you can't just rip Nate a new
Hold on
one.
a second.
Relax. They're going to complain. It doesn't
Hold on a
matter.
second. We've got to.
Moving on. Portugal also is a very good squad.
Shut
Yes.
Hold on. What do you got, Danny? Yeah.
Michigan Soccer for Michiganda says, "Don't let Kane start or on the roster because Kane is a curse."
Oh, no. Spoken. No, you're not. No. One of the best goal scorers in the world. You're not going to put him in the starting lineup? Who do you replace him with? No one.
Yeah.
No one. Sorry, Ollie Watkins is not on a Kane level. And nor is Ivan Toney.
So
Ivan
Dave-
Toney shouldn't even have made that squad,
Dave-
by the
Dave-
way.
David Kane, speaking of the England squad, why on earth is Harry Maguire still making it? Well, I can answer that in probably one sentence for you, David. Who else you got?
I think Maguire plays well when he plays.
Is
for
Dunk
England.
on the roster?
He is.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah.
I,
Rashford didn't make it, and
it's funny you guys
gonna
are
be-
so
it's gonna-
confident
It's going to be
after Brazil made you look really bad.
in a friendly, which
in a
didn't
friendly
count.
1-0
Sweet.
with not a full squad.
Didn't they complain about that friendly?
Not a full squad.
I say Kane wasn't even. He pulled
Wasn't
out a
that
couple-
Brazil's first win in some odd time? And Vinny looked like you guys were standing still as he ran right all over
Do
you.
we look
Well,
concerned?
Brazil are not in the Euros. And do you know who?
Yeah. Mbappe
se-
is.
And Copa
He's better
America.
than Vinny.
who
Which the U.S. has to deal with.
The centre back partnership is going to be Stones and Maguire
It will be.
Yep.
It will
with
be.
Walker on the right and
Will
Shaw
be.
on the left.
It will be.
It will be the same back four with
Do
Pickford in goal.
you think Shaw should play? He hasn't played. He's been injured the whole year. He can't be fit.
I think Southgate loves him.
I know he does. That's why he keeps getting in. He's
You guys just ran down that back line. I don't need a fucking good front three to score on that back line.
Germany didn't do anything against England in the last Euros in a quarterfinal.
Yeah, they
with
were
that
shit,
sa-
but
with that same
see what they
back line,
did to
it's still-
France a couple
Still
weeks ago.
shit now.
I wouldn't say that. I think you got Nagelsmann who absolutely
And
remember that Gundogan guy you were talking about and how good he was, and they were missing Gundogan. Who does he play for again?
Germany.
Okay, hey, you ever heard of this guy named Tony Kroos who's back? What was his pass rating and what he do in the Champions League? Remember that ball he played?
Don't
How
have
did-
anybody
let's
to
go.
score goals.
How did
Germany
Germany
don't have
do-
anybody to score
Yeah,
goals.
we don't have
How did
any-
Germany?
Please don't
How did
sit
Germany
there.
do in the World Cup in the prior Euros?
Was Tony Kroos on that team?
Well, that's not my problem. So one player.
Oh, he wasn't in the
That's
past
it.
one.
Don't
And where was Kimmich playing?
Okay.
Don't
In the
sit-
midfield when he should be right
How
back.
And where was Andrich on that team?
How did the team do?
No. And they
Team
didn't
did
have
shit. What's your point?
Yeah.
That's 4 years ago.
Then Florian
years
Wirtz
ago.
is
Years
different.
ago.
Do you know what- do you know what I hate?
Wirtz wasn't on that team.
Yeah.
Musiala wasn't playing. That's cool.
Musiala was injured, but he was there.
Do you know what I dislike more than anything?
Yeah.
And I think it's just like it's just preposterous to me. It's just like it's like you can have an opinion, but don't sit there and defend a country that you are not born in. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't.
I do that for the USA though. I
Li-
defend the USA too.
You're American. Shut the fuck up.
Like live there for a hot minute.
I did for 3
You
years.
weren't born there.
So which Euro?
What about his heritage?
Hold on. Shut. Which European country should I root for then? The one I had a mailing address for, or one that I'm not related to at all?
How about you just root for the United States when they're playing?
I
the
do.
Copa
I
America
do.
and
What's your
stuff like
point?
that?
I do. What's your point? And I have an opinion on the German squad that I know a lot
It's an
about.
opinion, but don't root for it.
Why can't I root for Germany? Who are you to tell me to root for? That's weird. That's like that's the epitome of English arrogance. First thing to sit there and say it's coming home for a trophy you asshats have never won.
It's coming home, yeah.
Home to what? You've never won it.
Well, it's coming.
You
back.
never won it.
It's coming homeward.
Nope, never won
It's
it.
coming home anyway. It's
I
just
guess
a-
it can't come home if
it's
you haven't
just
been
a-
there.
You never won it.
All right,
Yeah.
fellas.
If it's never been there,
it's
you
just
can't
a thing
come
that
home.
happens every time a tournament
it's a
comes
thing.
around.
I do want
Thing
to.
that
I do want to
happens.
get everybody's
You know what's the
prediction.
thing that happens every time a tournament comes around? England doing piss all.
I do want to get everybody's prediction. All right, you ready? Give me your prediction.
Portugal.
The Champions League finals happening next week.
Ronaldo wins it.
Who wins the Champions League? Is it Real Madrid or is it Borussia Dortmund?
Madrid by a mile.
Yeah.
Might be 6.
Give me a score. Give me a score.
It's got to be above 4.
You think so?
I think it's gonna be closer than you think. Just because I think a team's gonna sit in.
I'm
but
gonna
Do
get-
Dortmund sit in? Because they
Yeah.
do a decent
They
job
have to.
sitting in.
We get
They
a
have
Ger-
to.
Can we
They
get a
have to.
German flag to put behind
have
him,
to.
please?
He's got a hat.
Yes.
He's got
They
a
have
hat.
to. What's wrong with me saying it's gonna be close because Dortmund's gonna sit in? I'm not saying
nothing. I haven't
Dortmund's
said my
gonna be
Just
better.
pulling your chain. Have a little bit, like,
My God.
just drink some more of your Waterloo shit.
I'm
Just calm
empty.
down.
He's
Jeez.
hydrated.
He's also really got to pee. All right, so Nate, give me your prediction. What is it? You're going Real Madrid. What?
You know, my heart would love to have Marco Reus win it as his last thing
Going away,
and
yeah.
the team, but there's no way it's going to happen. I mean, I think Madrid's probably going to win 1 or 2-0 at least.
Okay.
I think it's, they're just the better. Madrid's the better squad, and
Okay.
they got the better manager. They know what they're doing. They got the better squad. They got the better manager. I don't see how Dortmund is better in any way. Madrid had the harder schedule going in. We can all agree with that. It's great that Dortmund's there, but I think the magic run's about over.
All right, 2-0 or 1-0 to Madrid. Danny?
Yeah.
4-0 Madrid. 4-0 Madrid.
All right.
Brooksy?
Yeah. All right. It goes into PKs, and Dortmund pull it off in PKs.
God, I would love for that to happen, but
Like
can't.
it's 1-1.
Dortmund pull it off in PKs?
Yes.
Over Real Madrid?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait. Could player of the match be also Jadon Sancho?
Yeah, oh, my word.
Oh, jeez.
I do want
It
to
was
say
against PSG.
last comment from me before I give my prediction. There was a young fella who actually called the Man United score, the win in the score, about an hour and a half. No, sorry, it was the day before as I was traveling up to Kalamazoo. Said, I think Manchester United win 2-1 over City, and I think Manchester United dominate that game. He's a Liverpool fan. And
Who's this young fella? Can he have a name?
He rattled off some stats, and I went, nah, man, you're nuts. You're 10. You don't watch enough soccer. Yeah, well done, Liam.
I had a conversation today with a very close friend of mine, and I said, "What did you think of the performance of the weekend?" Eric Ten Hag, masterclass, genius, absolutely fantastic. So glad United won it because I didn't want to see those cheaters win it.
There's a lot of people felt that way.
What did any of this have to do with the Champions
Well,
League?
now I just we're about to, that was the last thing I forgot to say earlier. I think it's 3-0 Real Madrid. Very easy and comfortable win for them.
I'm the odd one out as
You
usual.
are. We'll see. We'll be back next week on Sunday night. A big thank you
I
to
hope
our
you're right,
sponsors. A big thank you
Me
to
too.
Soccer World. A big thank you to Aaron Bird and Next Level Training. Appreciate you guys. Big thank you to Thomas McGee's. Get down to Thomas McGee's for that Champions League final 3 p.m. kickoff on June 1st. Big thank you to the Michigan Jaguars. Appreciate all the love and support the Michigan Jaguars have given us. Had an excellent tournament with a bunch of teams out there in Kalamazoo. Big thank you to the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. Appreciate all you guys do for us. Hey, we'll be back next week, Sunday. Thanks for tuning in, fellas. Cheers.
A la Madrid.